tell me a little bit about what you're doing, what your goal is here.
Well, it's crazy. Well, I'm walking across America. I'm not wandering. Okay, I'm headed west. I keep pushing west every day. The reason I'm doing it, it's kind of evolved a little bit because it's not what I expected. But I'm a veteran and I want to see my country. I'm not doing it to raise awareness for veterans. I'm not a combat veteran. I'm not disabled, but I'm proud of my service, and I want to see my country, and I want to meet people and see if I can do it. So and I wanted to do something like this for a while. I didn't know what. And last year I read an article about someone that walked across America, and I thought, how would you do that? And as I researched, I thought maybe I could do this. And here I am in Lancaster, Missouri, and 1,100 miles or something, and it's changed my life. It's awesome. I didn't expect people to be like this, as awesome as they are. I didn't think I could make it. I almost quit my first day. But anyway, so that's it. And the reason is, it's kind of evolved, like I said. People find inspiration in it. And I think kind of because I'm not doing it to raise awareness. I'm not doing it for a cause, which is people do that, and it's awesome. Okay, I'm not putting that down, but I couldn't pick one because I'd be leaving other ones out, I guess, and it would also mask the real reason, which is this: to meet you and the people in Lancaster here that I didn't even know this town existed. No idea. I'd never heard of it before, and here I am. And anyway.
So is that you said you thought about turning back the first day. What kept you going?
So I'd overloaded my cart. I was trying to find a place to get my gear organized more. A table like this would have been awesome, but no, there was no table. It was on the beach in New Jersey. The wind was blowing, and so I went into a lifeguard kind of a storage, and it was unlocked. So I went in, shut the door, and opened a can of fruit cocktail and sat there and was eating it, thinking, this isn't what I expected. I don't want to do this. No, it was just wrong in every aspect. And I thought, well, worst case, I'm here. Give it a day. Let's just see what happens, and what's the worst that can happen? So I pushed out. Weather got worse. The sand was blowing off the beach. It was cold. I was wet. I'm trying to cover my gear. And then as I cross over the bridge to the mainland, then I'm pushing through the city, much more city than this, it was. And someone pulled up next to me and asked what I was doing. And I told them walking across America, and then she had to pull away because the light changed. Well, she showed up with her dad about 10 minutes later, and he said, we got a warm meal for you and a place to put up your tent. Been going ever since. So that's why yeah. And I thought, with people like that, they saw something. Amy was her name. She saw something, obviously, and I just started. I hadn't walked 1,100 miles. I'd walked like 7 or something. Anyway, so that was it. That's what kept me going, and I haven't looked back since.
Okay. Has anything really surprised you along your journey?
All the time. People surprise me. There's been some people that haven't been so nice, but most of the people are really nice, and it surprises me with how nice. I was under a tree like this a couple weeks ago in Illinois, and I was sitting down and I was eating some lunch. It was hot, and there was a house a couple lots down, and I heard her yelling, and I looked back and she was hollering, saying, come over. So I thought, what's going on? So I pushed my cart down there, and she said, you can sit on her porch. She didn't see my sign that I was walking across America on my back, and she didn't see that. She just saw someone sitting under a tree eating lunch, and she wanted me to come over and sit on her porch with her and her husband, and we sat there and talked. That stuff surprises me because I'm a total stranger. There's nothing in it for her to invite me over, but there you go. That's awesome. That is just awesome.
It really is. So is that where the term road angels has kind of come in? Can you tell me a little about your road angels?
That didn't come in for a bit. Road angels, the first road angels is when Amy stopped and talked and then Drew. And a road angel is someone who will literally buy shoes for me, which happened in Champaign, Illinois, or will simply drive by and stick their arm out the window and wave. That right there keeps me going. I pushed from down by Downing, but I went the back way, and I'm not exaggerating, 10 cars passed me this morning. Okay, there's nothing, but I talked to every single one, well, not every one of them, but just about every one of them. And when there's people driving by and they're acknowledging what I'm doing, and I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm hungry, I don't know where I'm gonna sleep or whatever, it makes it okay because they connected with this walk. And I'm thinking, maybe they're thinking that they're going back to their job, work, and thinking, man, maybe I could do that someday. And with me imagining they're thinking that, I'm doing it, and I'm thinking I can keep doing this. Again, even though I'm cold, hungry, whatever. So we kind of feed on each other, I think, I don't know. So that's a road angel.
Yes. Well, and not only complete strangers, how does it feel to see
This is
before come
I don't know if we ever would have connected again. There's been talk about a reunion, and I think there's been a couple, but I don't know. But this has worked out. I had a guy that I knew from work who drove down from Milwaukee. I had another, Dan Davidson came down from Peoria, Illinois, and saw me. And that's awesome too, because I didn't call up, say I'm going to airplane and fly and see you. I'm walking across, and he's like, I'll drive up and see you. Yeah, you know, money can't buy this stuff. Money can't buy it, you can't plan it, it's awesome. And he fixed my wheel. I had problems with that thing. You saw it was bad. And Mike, and it's all good to go.
That's all it took. Let's see. If you had to estimate, how many steps would you say you've walked so far? You said you've been over 1,000 miles.
If we can do the math, I don't know if we got a calculator, but it's 2,017 steps for me to do a mile.
Okay.
And just, if we're at 1,100 miles, what's the math on that? It's 2 million something. It's about 2,100,000 or 2,010,000 or something. 2,017 times 1,100. And that's going to be pretty darn close. But I'm going to do over 6 million steps before I'm done. But right now I'm over 2 million, which is crazy to think about.
It's 2,218,700.
2,218,000. So that's, yeah.
Is there anything specific you've been looking forward to seeing along this journey, or still looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, there was, and now I've thrown it all out the window.
Yeah.
Because I've realized when I plan something, I look forward to it, it's different or it doesn't happen, but other stuff does happen, and I'm just open to the experience. I didn't know this, okay, but there's a place called the Wilds in Ohio. Have you heard of it?
I've not.
Me neither. It's the largest conservation reserve in North America. It's like a safari, but it's not a safari. They have animals that they're conserving, they're interbreeding, they're doing the breeding to keep them going. And I had no idea it was there. That type of stuff is happening. That's just one little example. So
Can't plan for it.
No.
Let's see, are there any places or people that you've seen so far that really stick out in your mind? I know you gave me a couple examples so far, but
Yeah, there's so many of typically, like you asked this question, and I can go back over just the last couple days because it's always happening. Last night I met someone, and he pulled over and was talking, a road angel. He had actually been looking the day before about walking across America. He said, I can't believe you showed up because I was just looking yesterday at different names that I'd recognized because I researched it. Him and I spent 4 hours talking last night. Total strangers, and we're talking about all sorts of stuff. And this wasn't a long time ago, this was last night. So yeah, this particular person stands out, and I'll remember them. He actually had some, what's it called, solve or stuff you put on a, yeah, so I have some type of spider bite or something, so he gave me this special stuff to put on there. Just stuff like that happens, and it's, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff, but I can go on and on and on about people. I met someone that walked with me for about 8 hours in Western Maryland. I've had people that have just they've just yelled at me, hey, what are you doing? And 5 minutes later, they're having me take a shower in their basement and doing laundry. They just bring me into their home. I just go on and on and on about people.
Well, then I'll ask you a little bit. I know you ran into the trouble with your wheel right outside Lancaster. So what have your experiences been like with people here in the Heartland since coming through?
The Heartland's been good. And it's been good since day one. The road angels are the same. I think that smaller towns people are more apt to interact with me because there's not as much going on. In the bigger cities, there's a lot of stuff going on, so people have to focus, and if they interact with me, they're gonna lose time, because let's face it, we can go to the post office, there's not a line, it's easy to get to, but in a bigger city, going to the post office it's a project. Does that make sense, I guess? I just use that as an example, but folks won't, they got the horse blinders on, they don't wanna see me because I'm gonna want something, they don't wanna mess with me. We're here, the gal stopped me right there when I came into town. Right there, she got in her car. She come out of a little flower shop, she had flowers, and she got in her car, and she said, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need some food, or what do you need?" The very first person. So when you say the Heartland, I'm thinking of smaller towns. Heartland people are awesome. They're awesome.
Let's see what else. How has this journey changed you? Have you noticed any changes in yourself?
Oh,
since
yeah.
you started?
Yeah. I'm much more calmer in situations where before I wouldn't have been as calm. Tense situations. I've had 3 situations where there was someone who had a gun. Totally calm. They did not pull the gun and point it at me. I'm not being dramatic, okay? They just had a weapon, and it could have been tense. But I was calm. I've had dogs come at me. I've been in situations with people around me that I wasn't comfortable with, but I was calm. And I'm more humble now, but I have more confidence in being humble. I don't feel like I'm gonna lose anything. I'm not afraid. I don't have that fear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, I've walked down the road with literally nothing, don't know where I'm gonna sleep. There's dark clouds rolling in, there's lightning ahead of me. I'm alone. It's gonna be okay. I just figure it out.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question, is you have an instance where your wheel breaks and you don't know what you're gonna do. Does that worry you, or you just have faith that it's gonna turn out?
So the lesson I learned in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, I had my tire, the problem, just like now, it was bad, and I was pushing on the rim. The tire was fine, it's gonna ruin the rim. And I thought, well, I'm special. I got a sign on the back, so have you seen it?
Yes.
I'm pretty cool, huh? So that's why I'm cool. So I thought, well, someone's gonna help me. So I held up my sign, and they ignored me. And I thought, well, they don't know that I need a tire fix. So I held my tire up. They were gonna stop now. Well, they didn't. I thought, well, I'm on the wrong side of the road. So I crossed the road. They didn't stop. I couldn't believe these people. Didn't they know that I'm walking across America? And so I get all mad, and I'm pushing my cart. And I'm just furious. And I'm just, all these people, it's cold, they're driving by, and they're not helping me. Why aren't they helping me? Really? So then I pulled off to the side. I set up on this I-beam, they're brown. The sun had warmed them, the wind stopped, and it was actually not too bad. And I started thinking, wait a minute. I chose to do this. Nobody forced me to do it. No one owes me anything. Right? It's gonna be okay. So I just started pushing my cart back. I was up a steep hill, rolled over the top, went down to there was a motorcycle shop. They didn't have the tire, but my dad's running into town. You can catch a ride with him. Boom, 30 minutes later, I'm pushing my cart down. It worked out. I thought I was special. I'm not special. I'm just walking across America. Here I am. I don't know what's gonna work out. The tire right now, it's fixed. I got a place to sleep tonight. Tomorrow's gonna be hot. I'm gonna be sweating. I'm pushing, but I'll worry about that then. So things work out now when stuff happens, like this wheel, that's been a problem, but it's worked out. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I realize I'm not special. I'm just walking, and something happens, I just deal with it in the moment.
Okay. Now, you're not on any specific timetable then, are you? You're just kind of...
October, November, but if it takes longer, okay, I don't want it to. There's times that I'm feeling, I want to get to the West Coast, but also I don't feel this pressure. Because if I was, the wheel's fixed, I could be walking now. I got daylight left. But that's okay. Talking to you, Mike, I haven't seen him, so I have no pressure whatsoever to keep going west.
Okay. Anything else you'd like people to know about what you're doing?
No, well, just that everything's going to be all right. Don't get caught up in stuff. A lot of time to think when I'm walking, and people are just going, and it's okay. But just know it's going to be all right. try not to get so wound up. Be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. The past is gone. It's done. And the future, plan all you want, but changes are going to happen. It's okay. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to be all right. Just keep going. Just keep going.